time for the Luke Howard Show live. Thank you. You're so kind. A lovely audience. You really, really are. Love 'em. Morning, it's Friday the 29th of May, last Friday of the month, and would you believe it, tomorrow is of course the last day of this month. Wow, where has the time gone? It's actually gone quite slow, to be honest with you, but it has gone quite quick in a way, really, hasn't it? But there you go, so nearly the end of the month. June is just around the corner, would you believe? I should actually be saying it on the show tomorrow, but I'm going to say it today. Gosh, blimey. I'll say it tomorrow as well. But for now, hope everyone is well and, of course, are looking forward to the weekend. It's been a great week this week. It's been absolutely amazing. Of course, here today, tomorrow, then it's the weekend. And, of course, I'll be here all next week. I'm here for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Could be here forever and ever and ever. Love it. But for now, of course, we are here to start your day on these very weird, strange days. So whatever is happening, I'm here at the moment. And then, of course, once it's all over, I shall be back to normal. So I shall be back on the Saturdays. But for now, I'm here every single day and I love it, apart from Sundays, not Sundays. Monday to Saturday I'm here. I love it. Absolutely amazing. It's brilliant. It's great to be here. Love it. So, okay. So, before we go into newspapers, I just want to say something, and that's about schools, about their holidays. So, in the news yesterday, I don't suppose you saw, but they were talking about schools. Should the summer be on? Should the summer holidays be on or off? Now, in my opinion, I think they should still go on because I mean I know they've had a lot of time off, but at the moment, but they've still been working from home. So I suppose they should be having time off. But even having time off in the holidays is still the same as maybe working from home. It's still all the same, I suppose, but they're still working from home, and it should maybe still be the same, I suppose. I mean, do you think it should be the same? Do you think the holidays should go on, or do you think they shouldn't? A lot of people's opinions on this story are very, very different. Now, some people will think that it should go on, and then some people are thinking that it shouldn't. So, so it's quite hard, really, isn't it, to think, to get your head round, do you think if they should go back or not? Because they have had months off because of all of this. But do you think once everything's back to normal, they should have more time off as well? Very, very hard. Very, very hard. But we'll leave that one in the air there. We'll leave it there. To get in touch on the show today, we'd love to hear from you. 07593 847 105 is, of course, the number to text. Start with the word talk and your name and where you're from. Or you can call us 07593 847 105. Or you can find us on Instagram at the Luke Howard fan page. Message us or send or whatever on there. Email is GaryJHoward68 at hotmail.com, or there's another email which is 345457 at student.hrc.ac.uk. We'd love to hear from you. We really, really would. And we'd love to. Hashtag Luke Howard, hashtag Luke Howard Show, or hashtag stay at home and listen to the Luke Howard Show. Those are great ways to get in touch with the show. It really, really is. So, of course, it was half term this week, so it was holidays this week anyway, and then next week it's going to be back to working from home again. Do you think that should happen? Do you think it should continue and continue? Do you think they should be there over the summer? Do you think that should happen? Because it's quite hard. I know June's coming up, and then we got beginning of July, but you see, we're all off at our college anyway. It's completely shut anyway. But do you think it should happen or not? Very, very hard. So let's move on, because I want to talk about Wayne Rooney. Now, come on, you Reds and Whites, he's been saying. Wayne Rooney is splashing out the £150,000 on a walk in wine room in his huge new mansion. Wow, he's got a big mansion. I never knew that. So, plans show that the having the room is complete with a bar installed on the lower ground floor of the 20 million home. He and his wife Colleen are having built in Cheshire. They live in Cheshire, and Wayne Cheshire, and Wayne 34 won't have far to go to stock up. He has one of the UK's, well, of course, all the pubs are shut, I suppose, and everyone's on lockdown. So maybe they're thinking, we might as well open up a pub in our house. So that's what he's basically doing. So he won't have far to go. He has to top up the wine merchants, of course. He has to go on his doorstep. And the ex-England and Man United legend, now at Derby County, had famed for his love on plonk, and once infamously washed down cake for his 28th birthday with £2,000 bottle of exclusive Chardonnay Patras. His wine room will be complete, and it will climate controlled, stubbornly lit, and have tiers of drawers and shelves for the collection. Now, work on the 120-acre estate, would you believe, that was hated by the lockdown, but when halted by the lockdown. But when Wayne finally moves in with Colleen, 34, with their 4 boys, and will be able to order some supplies from nearby premium drinks firm Hammond's, style Magnificat, as described a walk in the wine room as the ultimate at the top of the wish list. Absolutely amazing. So Lisa now, because Lisa at Glastonbury, we'll get to that one in a minute. But first, I actually think it's a really nice idea for him to do that. Don't you think? I think it's brilliant. Good luck to him is all I can say. If you can't go to the pub will go to you. So he's basically bringing the pub to himself. Absolutely amazing. Good luck to Wayne Rooney for doing that. It's a Wine Rooney, I should be saying Wine Rooney. It makes me laugh every time I say it. So good luck to him for making a pub in his very own house. Absolutely amazing. So let's move on now, because I want to talk about Glastonbury now. Lisa has a fest dress chest. At rhymes, actually. Glastonbury may have been, cancelled and axed for this year, but music nut Lisa Davis has literally put the festival on herself. Lisa, 33, is painting 20 scenes from the pyramid stage on her chest as a reminder of her live glorious trips to Glastonbury. She finds an iconic picture reserves in the image and copies it using body paint. The result's a bit like coronavirus victims Glasgow, and particularly Cardiff. Lisa, who works in customer services, says that I thought I'll paint my way round the site, and I'm not a professional by any means, but I'll make a mistake, and I just want to wipe it off, she said. And they said that when I have to wash one off, but that leaves me with a blank canvas for, I believe, another. So that's actually quite very interesting, to be honest with you. And absolutely brilliant. So good luck to her. Good luck to her indeed. So I want to move on now to another story which is on my script. And what we're talking about now, we are going to talk about something else, aren't we? We are talking about hang on if I can find on my script, because we are talking about something else now, aren't we? Yeah. Right, so we're talking about a Robin Van Persie exclusive. So Robin Van Persie has lifted the lid on Louis Van Gaal, who was slapped him at the World Cup, and a knockout as well. So Van Persie, 36, revealed how he got an angry cuff on the back of the head from his bosses when he refused to be substituted during Holland's quarter-final shootout victory ever, Costa Rica, in 2014. So when the pair later linked up at an Old Trafford, the former Arsenal striker found himself on the receiving end of even bigger shock as his manager told him his time at United was up. The two men made up their differences last year when Van Persie invited Van Gaal to his testimonial game for Feyenoord. But in their new book about the 68-year-old's coaching career called LVG, the manager and the total person, Van Persie gives a white and all insight into the former boss, retiling the last 8 clash with Costa Rica. Van Persie said that the game went into extra time and I got camp. Louis shouted, "I'm taking you off." I turned around and shouted, "No, you're not. We have penalties soon." But the last 20 minutes were actually physically really hard for me, he said. Van Gaal could see that, he said. and Stan was coming out of his ears. When the match was finished and we gathered near the touchline, he got close to me and suddenly hit me. Bang with a big flat hand, he said, and dealt me a blow, and said in the angry way, "Don't ever do that to me again," he said. I looked at him absolutely stunned, and he said that just get on with it, he said, and make sure you get it in the net from the spot, is what he's been saying. I'm glad I managed to put the penalty in the corner when I look back, so that incident, it was a weird moment, he said. But that was Louis for you. Sometimes he can hang out a player, and sometimes he can tell you and hit you. And this is Holland finished third in Brazil with Van Persie scoring their goals. As soon as the tournament ended, he was working for Van Gaal again when the former Ajax, Barcelona and Bayern Munich coach accepted the offer to become Old Trafford boss. So Van Gaal guided United back into the Champions League, but Van Persie's season was so badly disrupted by injuries that he scored only 10 goals. Even so, the forward was shocked to discover what his manager had planned for him when they met at the Metro Golf Club, Merry Golf Club, just outside Manchester in the summer of 2015 for a talk about the new campaign. Van Persie said that Van Gaal said in a stone-hard way, "You are the player, Robin, and I am the manager. I'm not leaving there," he said, "and so you have to leave. You are done here in Manchester," he said. "My family was settled, so I said to him, 'That's what you think, and I have a contract for another year.' Louis just said, 'You still have to go.' I asked him to explain where it had gone," he said, "but wrong between us because I really don't understand," was what he said. So he also said that there is a difference between Louis van Gaal and the national manager and Louis van Gaal, the club manager. I said that we will never agree on this, and then they get up and they shook their hands and they left. And he said, "Have I blamed him for this? It hurt. This had a massive impact on my family. Of course I'd done it and had blamed him for some injuries, but I even played with pain and I went over the edge. I worked for my guts," he said. "I worked my guts off every day and I always gave absolutely everything," which is true because he has. "And I still found it tough," he said, "to get that message from him." Van Persie said that in the summer, and added that in the summer of 2019, he left a message on Van Gaal's voicemail. When he returned this call, he said, "Hi boss, Robin here. I would like to invite you for my testimonial. I explained that way I see him as a person and is not affected by what happened at the United, and that I would be honoured that in this would come." And his reply was, "I love how you have just spoken to me. I will be there," he said. "I will be there indeed." So, there you go. So, we'll talk about the Chinese now then, because anti-Chinese Chubby is sent by Minister for Overseas Aid. So, Cabinet Minister Anne Mary terrorism is accused of stoking racial tension after circling an anti-Chinese jibber to Tory MPs. The International Development Security 51, she tasked with delivering 13 billion on overseas aid, sent it for a WhatsApp group, which was disguising concerns that China is playing the coronavirus pandemic, because of course it all started there. Chinese eating bats. God, I can't even look at Chinese eating bats and spitting on people in the streets. This is how it all started, and I'm sure it is. So, the first British-Chinese woman MP's Labour, Sarah Owen, 37, called it totally inappropriate. And she was saying that such messages from flames sparked by US President Donald Trump, and this accuses that China of the accusing of the pandemic, because it was, and it all started from them anyway. So, let's talk about if he told the PM he didn't break law, I believe him. So, I don't really want to talk about this because it was in the news the other day. They did say, come on, people, stop talking about it. So, I am going to talk about it, to be honest with you. So, Dominic Cummings has told Boris that Johnson the absolute critic truth about his lockdown trip to Durham, and Education Secretary inserted the other day. So Gavin Williamson said he trusted Mr. Cummings' association, and he followed the guidance. Well, he followed it as well with the coronavirus pandemic, and it was all a pig in the UK. If he'd been made clear to the PM that he didn't break the law, I said I absolutely believe their assurance that he told Sky News. He said you wouldn't accept someone to be not given the absolute critic truth to the Prime Minister. Mr. Williamson was himself sacked as different security by former PM Theresa May after she accused him of leaking a report from the National Security Council and then lying to her about it, which is terrible. He was